Hey everyone, it's Etch from Y102, back with another health highlights from Michigan Primary Care Partners. And we just had the first official day of summer that happened over the weekend, and last week, really hot, 80s, 90s, and it looks like summer's here to stay, which is a good thing, right? Well, with summer comes some precautions that we have to take care of, and that is making sure we don't get heat stroke. We're out and about, we're doing things, walking our dogs, and a lot of the times when we're out walking the dogs, we're more concerned with their health and them getting heat stroke, and then we forget to keep ourselves hydrated. You're at the beach, you're at the lake, you're hanging out, you're around water, but you're not drinking much water. You might be having some different fluids, like some adult beverages, things like that, which is perfectly fine. However, doing a little too much might not be what you're looking for. Also, other people who are susceptible to heat stroke and dehydration are the elderly. So those are some things that we got to think about. If they're out and about doing some yard work or whatever, they're a little bit more at risk. So find out during this week's Health Highlight why the elderly are at risk for heat stroke, dehydration, and why they need to keep track of what and how much they're drinking. Also learn why you need to avoid certain fluids and what are the signs of dehydration. All part of this week's Health Highlights with Michigan Primary Care Partners in Y102.
If it's a hot day, you don't want to leave an elderly person out for a long time without cover of some kind. In the shade, it's better, so I would certainly have them sit in the shade. Make sure they're well hydrated. If they don't have a lot of fluids in them, then they're much more prone to having heat stroke. There are a lot of fluids that are actually dehydrating, like coffee and pop. Those kind of things you should avoid. Usually elderly people especially don't have a very good thirst mechanism, so they need to keep track of this. I would say if you're not very active, you may need only 4 glasses a day, but the average person probably needs about 6 glasses of water a day. Some people who are very active need a lot more, especially if you're sweating in the heat. As far as heat stroke is concerned, if you have a lot of activity during the heat, then that would certainly predispose you more to it as well. So if you're going to be doing gardening or something, you have to limit your time in the sun. If people are becoming a little disoriented, then they need to stop and go inside for a little while and drink some fluids. You watch for disorientation. Sometimes people feel kind of faint when they don't have enough fluid in them. I would worry if somebody hadn't had a lot of urination, that means that they're dehydrated. If they get short of breath or rapid heart rate, those are some of the symptoms of dehydration. Even young people who are active can get severe heat stroke and die if they're in a very hot environment. So you really need to be careful where you are and how much heat you're exposed to, and whether or not you're hydrated and what you're doing there. You should have some kind of a shade to go to.